Tonight, Sarasota County deploying fire and rescue crews to the Carolinas as people along the coast there bracing for Hurricane Florence.
Plus, a reminder of what supplies you need to be prepared if a storm does head toward the Sun Coast.
And how people across the nation are remembering the lives lost on 9/11 17 years ago today. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us. Topping our news tonight, Hurricane Florence may not be heading our way, but forecasters warn this could be a deadly storm for those in its path.
That's right. The latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center says Florence is becoming better organized and increasing in size. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for the latest on that storm. Bob.
Well, the latest advisory is in, and I've read the full advisory right now. And what's happened is it's gone through a eye wall replacement cycle. And what happens typically is the storm gets so strong, as we saw yesterday at 140-mile-an-hour wind, that a secondary eye wall actually develops and kind of spreads its wings out, thus slowing the storm down a little bit. So it weakened yesterday afternoon and last night. Now it's going back into contracting again, or that eye wall starting to get smaller and smaller, and that means the storm is intensifying. Top winds now back up to 140. They were at 130 just about 6 hours ago, and I suspect that they could even be at Category 5 strength right now. In fact, the Hurricane Center says that the 140-mile-an-hour wind that they are suggesting that it has right now is conservative. It could be higher than that. They're going to be flying into it shortly. You can see it quite clearly from the visible satellite imagery. It is looking a little bit more symmetrical than it had done earlier today. And as far as that close-up look goes, you can see right into the center of the eye with the GOES 16 visible satellite imagery. You can see these clouds in the lower level spinning. They're spinning at 130 miles an hour with gusts inside there up to about 160 to 165 miles an hour as it makes its way off toward the west-northwest. That motion is going to continue. Each time it goes through this eye wall replacement, it actually expands its wind field. And so this is going to be a huge storm in terms of wind as well as heavy rain as it moves on through. Again, this storm moving off to the west-northwest at 17. This just came in from the National Hurricane Center. The pressure is dropping 945 millibars now, and a rapid intensification could still occur. In fact, as I said, I would not be surprised to see this become a 5 either tonight or tomorrow. Winds on Wednesday expected to be up to 155 miles an hour, gusts up to 190, and it looks now is going to make landfall as a Category 4 hurricane, and then it will slow down. Once it moves into possibly North Carolina somewhere, it will slow down for a couple of days, dropping rainfall up to 30 inches. And some isolated areas could see more than that as it kind of just hangs around over parts of North Carolina. Now, the European model has shifted a little bit off toward the west, and the UK Met has shifted off a little bit to the right, while the GFS has shifted down a little bit further off to the south. Well, more on this. Also, we'll take a look at Isaac and the new forecast path and track of it coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Sarasota County rescue crews are on their way to North Carolina this evening as Hurricane Florence threatens that area.
FPL crews and Red Cross volunteers are also heading north to help with the storm. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from the Sarasota County Fire Department tonight. Now, Jess, how many crews are being sent up north, and what all will they be doing?
Well, Jacqueline, around midnight last night, Sarasota County got the call asking them to send what are called strike teams to Raleigh, North Carolina. So today, 6 members of the Sarasota County Fire Department packed their bags, loaded up 3 rescue vehicles, and headed north to North Carolina. More than 40 members of Sarasota County Fire Rescue volunteered to make this trip. However, only 3 EMTs and 3 paramedics were selected. Those 6 men and women will be helping to evacuate the area prior to the storm. Now, Florida Power and Light has also deployed 32 people from the west coast of Florida between Manatee County and Naples. In total, throughout the state, FPL has 500 people and contractors preparing to help restore power after the storm. And the American Red Cross also plans to send crews throughout the next few days. That organization is still working out their plan.
As part of our strike team, I believe Charlotte County also sent some units to fill out the other rescues that were needed. But throughout the state, as I mentioned, there was 7 regions, so I'm sure all 7 regions have been contacted and asked to assist. Much as when we had Irma, some of the other regions came to our area to help evacuate some of the local hospitals that were in the coastal flooding area.
Those medics and EMTs from Sarasota County are expected to be up north for about 8 days, so they should arrive back home next week at this time. Now, there are some reserve units here in Sarasota County, so just because we are losing some EMTs and paramedics to the north, there will still be just as many units here on the roads. Reporting live in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Jess, thank you. With the threat of Florence barreling towards the east coast of the U.S., it's a stark reminder that you need to have a hurricane kit ready, even though Florence won't be hitting us here in Florida. Area hardware stores say people have not stocked up on important items needed during and after a hurricane. Local emergency operations offices say it's always important to have that kit in place and ready.
Last year we had that mad rush to the last minute. Here we were open till midnight before the storm arrived, and you know what, this year we want to make sure that everybody's prepared. Now with storms sitting out there in the Gulf or sitting out offshore, now's a great time for us to start thinking about those preparations ahead of time.
Some of those important items to have include batteries, flashlights, canned food, water, and a first aid kit. Other hot items that often sell out this time of year include generators and gas for grilling. And just a reminder, while Hurricane Florence is not impacting the Suncoast, there is still 2.5 months left in hurricane season. If you still need to get a plan in place, head over to our website, mysuncoast.com. Click under the Weather tab and you'll find a link to our 1-hour hurricane special called Surviving the Storm, as well as a 2018 printable hurricane guide.
17 years ago today, on another Tuesday, the United States was attacked and 3,000 Americans died. Today, we remember.
My Uncle Martin Lizzle, we love you, we miss you.
Staff Sergeant Madeline A. White.
Flight Attendant C.C. Ross Lyles.
People reading the names of nearly 3,000 loved ones who were killed on 9/11 at memorial ceremonies across the country. President Trump honored the passengers and crew of United Flight 93 in Pennsylvania. After learning other planes had crashed, the 40 people on that flight took control of the plane and forced it down into a field. The phrase "never forget" becomes even more important on this day, considering today's teenagers were born after 9/11. 9/11 remembered here on the Suncoast as well. USF Sarasota Manatee held a remembrance ceremony this morning. More than 2,900 flags were placed in the campus's courtyard to honor the lives lost. David Kotuk of Cumberland Advisors in Sarasota spoke at today's ceremony. He was in the South Tower of the World Trade Center for a conference that day.
When the World Trade Center explosions happened, from what I saw where I was, all of the differences between and among us were set aside. We were one unified people, and we were confronted with something we didn't understand that was powerful. That's the greatness of this country.
At today's ceremony, Kotak said he hopes people will continue to remember the September 11th attack.
A developing story out of Bradenton tonight. A 7-year-old girl is shot while in her mother's car. It all happened over the weekend on Manatee Avenue East. Investigators say the 7-year-old was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Bradenton police arrested 18-year-old Axel Benito Ramirez for that shooting. He admitted to firing a handgun into the vehicle as it passed by. Investigators say there is no connection between the victim or her family and Ramirez.
Big black tent is now covering the second oldest home in Sarasota County. The tent is over the Lord Heigl House in Venice, so crews can take care of the termites in the building. The Lord Heigl House was built back in 1896 by entrepreneur Joseph Lord. Volunteers have raised more than $300,000 and invested thousands of hours restoring it to its original glory. And once that restoration is complete, the first floor of the house will serve as an early settler museum and welcome center. However, the termites are no longer welcomed. Still to come in your Suncoast News, Hurricane Florence could be the most powerful storm to hit the Carolinas in more than 60 years. Now people there are getting ready.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus why more pregnant women could face problems with high blood sugar. Those stories coming up next.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Right now, the city of Folly Beach is in disaster prevention mode. It's a popular beach town right outside of Charleston, South Carolina. As businesses are boarding up and tourists are dwindling down, Alexis Simmons shows us how they're preparing for Hurricane Florence. While there are still people out here on Folly Beach today, it might start looking different tomorrow because there will be restricted access to the city of Folly Beach starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow. At that point in time, residents and business owners must provide identification or show their proper passes to enter the city. Restaurants and shops near the beach are boarding up and preparing to close early ahead of the storm. The $11 million federally funded beach renourishment project was underway but has been put to a stop. Folly Beach has not fully restored the sand lost from previous hurricanes, and it is not clear how Florence could impact the coast. Evacuation orders have cut vacations short, and the Tides Hotel on Folly Beach will be closing for the first time in recent years ahead of the storm.
We were coming down for her birthday, which is tomorrow, and we come down here about once a year, if not twice a year. And so she flew in this morning. I came in yesterday. They came in Sunday night.
Realtors, brokers, and contractors with proper license will also be able to gain access during the restrictions. And there is a high risk for rip currents. There are no lifeguards on the beach at this time, and people are advised to stay out of the water. I'm on Folly Beach, Alexis Simmons for the Raycom News Network.
Alexis, thank you. The Southwest Florida chapter of the American Red Cross is deploying crews to the Carolinas to help with disaster aid. The executive director of the local Red Cross says crews will be headed that way within the next day or two. The Red Cross is also accepting donations now to help those that will be affected by the storms. And Florida Power and Light has deployed 32 people from the west coast of Florida to help in the Carolinas. Those people are from Manatee County south to Naples. In total, there are 500 workers or contractors affiliated with FPL that are headed to the Carolinas. They all left today and will be meeting in Waltersboro, South Carolina to be ready to start power restoration efforts once the storm blows through. And of course, we remember there were crews from all over the Southeast that came to Florida after Irma to help that restoration process.
And the problem was, too, after Irma, is a lot of folks were still in Texas because of Harvey. So it was kind of spread thin there as far as that goes. This storm is going to be an amazing storm. It's going to go down in the history books, I think. Unfortunately, it's the perfect storm in terms of the right angle right into the North Carolina coast. That means the strongest storm surge you probably can get with that kind of an angle coming into the coast. On top of that, it's going to slow down once it moves in. That means it's going to be a huge rainmaker. On top of that, the winds are going to be Category 4 or possibly even 5 as it makes landfall. And it's going to be a wide storm, too. So it covers the entire coast of North Carolina, the hurricane force winds. We'll see that in a minute. That's the projection anyway. As far as it goes, the infrared satellite imagery showing a very active day today. Again, all the storms are out there in the Atlantic and one developing in the Gulf of Mexico fairly soon too. It will be Joyce. That'll be the next storm. This is the color-enhanced satellite imagery. Kind of ragged this morning. We start things off at 6:55. You can see the southwest edge was a little bit shearing going on there, but that deep red that you see there will start to show up as that secondary eye wall is starting to replace, and you'll notice a tighter eye, more well-defined eye in this case, and we're going to start to see more of this become more, looks like, again, a little bit more outflow here. So outflow in every quadrant is becoming more and more defined and excellent as far as the National Hurricane Center goes. And what that means is this storm will only get stronger. It looks like it could get up to 5 category as early as tonight, but more than likely tomorrow. There are hurricane warnings out in the red. You see that covers the entire North Carolina coastline from the Virginia border southward all the way down into the central and northeastern sections of South Sarasota County. And then we have tropical storm warnings in effect as well as hurricane watches in effect to the south of that. This is the wind radius. Now this shows the intense hurricane force winds right there in the deep red. It'll go away a little bit as it approaches the coast. That's because it doesn't project out more than 2 days as far as those hurricane force winds go. But tropical storm force winds will be felt all the way across the Carolina coast and then inland too, up into Raleigh. And then this area that you see here, although it's shrinking, it's not going to shrink. It's going to stay rather large here, and those hurricane force winds will extend over a good chunk of the Carolina coastline as it makes its way inland. So a life-threatening rain on top of that expected. The forecast for this is going to be historic too, I think, as far as that goes, with rainfall amounts up to 30 inches in parts of North Carolina, even into South Carolina, as well as Virginia. We showed you this earlier, top winds at 140 miles an hour with gusts up to 165, and as it makes its way toward the coast, it'll get close to Category 5 tomorrow with wind gusts. Look at that, 190 miles an hour, and then pushing right on in to the Carolina coast. The timing of it now appears to be late Thursday, but more so Friday, and then that sticks around for a couple of days. Now, down to our south, we'll have to keep an eye on this. Isaac is expected to turn into a hurricane. It is getting better organized. Forecast models are a little confused on this one. Several of the models take it off to the north and before it reaches Cuba, while others keep it on a more westerly course. This is what the Hurricane Center is going with now. Not many take it directly toward Florida, so that's a good sign there. This one has a 70% chance of becoming Joyce, heading off toward Texas. That's due to a high-pressure ridge over North Florida right now, which will, with its clockwise flow, blow this storm into either Mexico or Texas at this time. And this is a non-worrisome storm out there. Helene is way out there in the Atlantic, expected to stay out there in the Atlantic. We have a few showers popping up here and there. Scattered storms are in the forecast again tomorrow. Boaters beware, seas will be running 2 feet or less, but red tide is being reported in some area beaches once again and in the bay in North Sarasota. Wednesday, 30% chance for scattered storms in the afternoon and evening, it looks like. Same on Thursday. A little less action on Saturday and Sunday, depending upon the future movement of Florence. Back to you.
Bob, thank you. Now to First Alert Traffic, US 301, a little backed up in Bradenton area, heading north just before you get to State Road 70. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, high blood sugar in pregnancy and a change that means more women may be affected. ABC's Janae Norman explains.
Being pregnant can be sweet, but high blood sugar during pregnancy isn't sweet at all. Doctors know that gestational diabetes is associated with problems for both mother and child if it isn't well controlled. But previous definitions of how much sugar is too much sugar may have been too high. So after a large 2008 study of more than 53,000 pregnant women, the WHO and other agencies lowered the threshold of blood sugars in pregnancy. They changed the definition to include more women with lower sugar levels. But did that lower threshold mean anything? A new study looked back at about 4,000 of those women 11 years after their pregnancy, even those women with blood sugars too low to qualify them for gestational diabetes by the old standards. They were at just as high risk of developing prediabetes and type 2 diabetes later in life. This shows that even modest problems with blood sugar during pregnancy can bring long-term consequences. So if your doctor tells you your blood is a little too sweet when you're pregnant, listen and get treated. With this Medical Minute, I'm Janae Norman, ABC News.
The risk of accidental falls is a major problem for adults over 70. A new study suggests that the key to fall prevention may be an ancient Chinese form of martial arts. Researchers conducted a study of adults 70 years and older who had at least one prior fall. Each adult was randomly assigned to one of 3 different exercise groups: stretching exercises, strength and agility exercises, and a modified version of Tai Chi. After about 6 months, those who routinely did Tai Chi fell on average 30 to 60% fewer times than any other group. They were also stronger and had better cognitive function. Coming up, rowdy college football fans take celebrating to a new level in Kentucky, and what 2 firefighters did to honor fallen heroes on 9/11.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
You like to pay less. That's why you made Honda Accord the best-selling midsize car in America. Get the redesigned Accord, the North American Car of the Year, or Civic, a KBP.com Best Buy for less than the competition. Like SUVs and trucks? Get Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, CRV, the 8-passenger Pilot or Ridgeline truck for up to $4,240 less. Today at your local Honda dealer.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Some University of Kentucky fans are known to burn couches after big wins. That wasn't the case this weekend when fans took to the State Street to celebrate their win over Florida. Matthew O'Hara, a fan from out of town, says he parked his car at a friend's house while they went to a party down the street. Then he saw the video online and realized it was his car being flipped. When he got back to his friend's house, it was nowhere to be found. He later found out it was taken to the impound lot. Police say no one has been arrested for the damage. His mom started a GoFundMe page, and it's already raised more than $3,000 in one day. And a local car dealership is also stepping in, donating a car to Matt to help him out in the meantime. A bus driver and a passenger are hurt after that bus crashed into a building in San Francisco. Officials say the bus crossed the median and was facing oncoming traffic when it crashed into a dry cleaners yesterday morning. Police say the driver had life-threatening injuries. Investigators say it's too early to speculate on why that bus crossed the median and crashed. They will be reviewing the video captured by the bus's cameras.
A semi-truck crashes into a two-story apartment building in Lansing, Illinois after the driver fell asleep at the wheel. It took crews 3 hours to free the driver from the cab of that truck. He was taken to a hospital with injuries that were not considered life-threatening. One person inside the building was taken to another hospital in critical condition. A witness says the driver told her that he fell asleep at the wheel. 3 rescuers also had minor injuries. Well, a pair of Houston County firefighters in Warner Robins, Georgia are remembering fallen heroes of 9/11 today. Chelsea Farmer took this video at her gym and shared it on Facebook. Timothy Solar and Alex Lazuski started walking on the Stairmaster machines at about 8:46 a.m. this morning. They walked all 110 stories of the World Trade Center and back down in remembrance of 9/11 to honor those that lost their lives.
Nice tribute.
Yes. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, more than 1 million people ordered to evacuate along the Carolina coastline. A look at how they're preparing and what help is on the way.
Plus, then President Bush was reading to students at Booker Elementary School when he learned the U.S. was under attack on 9/11. The school's then principal, who was in the classroom that day, tells us what that moment was like.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Thank you.
What are you doing? You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit HelpSaveTheNextGirl.com and get involved.
All across America, there are kids going hungry. It sounds crazy, but it's real. It's also a problem we're fixing. Kids who rely on school meals need help in the summer. That means neighborhood meal sites that are easy to get to and free for every kid. When you make breakfast part of a school day, a lot more kids get the chance to eat. These programs work. Over the past few years, 1/3 fewer children in the United States are facing hunger. Let's make No Kid Hungry a reality.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.